Hello, welcome. It's good to see everyone. I thank God that we have this opportunity to come together to share again, to share information. Now, as I've stated before, with information, it makes a difference what kind of life we're going to be living. Today, I would like to discuss a very good topic that's very interesting to pretty much everybody is who is God? What is he? What is he really? If you look at every other nation, each one of them have a different representation of God. Some believe in the moon is God, the sun, the ocean, the Buddha, the cow, and even human beings could be God as well. So every culture is seeking a God they can make tangible, they can hold and see and pray to. Because when you think about it, it is really difficult to sit somewhere and pray to some invisible being you can't see, feel, or touch, or you can connect to. So it makes sense they want to humanize God, but that's not who God is. Or what is he? Now, to begin, let's look at the Jewish people. When Moses went up the mountain and he didn't come down on a timely date he was scheduled to come down, the people started to panic and they asked Aaron, which is Moses' brother, to build a statue that would replace Moses. Because remember, Moses was the man in between that transmitted the information from God to the people. So since Moses didn't come, they thought he was dead. So they asked Aaron if he would create a God form. Okay, so they wanted a God. So what did Aaron did? They did create. He created the what's called the golden calf. Okay, so the golden calf was supposed to be the one now that God will speak through to the people. So that as you can see from day one, the people try to humanize God or bring God down to their level where they can understand, they can feel tangible, they can relate to. In a way, I kind of understand that when you think about it. It's very difficult to pray to a being where you cannot see, you cannot hear from, literally see or hear from. But that's not God. That is not God. That's not the way he operates, and that's not what he wants. That's not God's ideal of who he is and what he wants us to do. So the question is, what is he? What is God really? Now, let's look at the angels to get a better understanding what God really is. When God created Adam, they say Adam was so unique. None of us can really understand what I'm going to say to you, but I'm going to do my best to explain what Adam looked like. Adam, think about diamonds. His entire body was a diamond, a huge diamond. Or let's think about transparency. You had the figure, the silhouette, the figure. You can see that figure, but you can see through. You can see right through him. But not only just see right through him as well, but it says the heel. Think about what I'm just saying. Just the heel. The heel of Adam was so bright, it makes the sun look dim. That's how bright his heel was, just his heel. So imagine his entire body. So when the angels saw Adam, they thought he was God. They thought he was God. And the reason they did not see him as God anymore was because God had put Adam to sleep. That was one of the reasons God put Adam to sleep. So the angels, because the angels said, well, if he's God, he can't go to sleep. So God, that was one reason he put him to sleep. The second reason, of course, to take out the rib to create Eve. So even the angels misunderstood who God was. You see, even they're looking for a physical being to be able to connect with, that this is my God. So it's not surprisingly that us as human would do the same thing as well. But that's not God. That's not God at all. So the question is, what is he? Can we really relate to God? How can we connect with him if we can't see him, touch him, or hear him? Okay, so the best thing to look at, best way to understand this is we and God are so far apart. There's nothing I can tell you to tell you how far apart we really are. But I'm going to try to give you some analogy to think about it. Imagine this, a being that is existence, meaning he is existent. and we are not existence. We've been given existence. It was given to us. Now it's hard to understand. What does that mean? A being that is existent and we've been given existence. Meaning he is. There is nothing. If he wanted to commit suicide, he could not do it. If he wanted to kill himself, he could not do it because he just is. And I know it's hard to understand. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth to explain. This is the best way I can put it for you to understand. I've also heard it myself as well, is this. Imagine there are two men who are sitting. They're sitting at a table. They're drinking coffee at Starbucks. And one of the men said, you know we're not real. And the guy said, what do you mean we're not real? I'm here with you. We're drinking coffee. What are you talking about we're not real? I'm real. She real. Everything's real. The cashier is real. All these customers in here are real. We are real. They say, yes. Relative to you and I, we are real. But you see that guy over there laying on the sofa sleeping? He's real. We're not. What do you mean? Because he's sleeping and he's dreaming and we are his dream. The moment he wakes up, we will disappear. Because he's giving us existence. By him being alive, give us existence. We're existing. As long as he's dreaming, we are existing. Now, that's as best as I can go to give you understanding what God is. This is nothing compared to what I'm trying to say, who he is or what he is. Now, how is it possible a being this powerful can bring us into existence? Another magnificent thing I want you to think about is, think about this. If you look at everything in the creation, everything there is in the creation, the amount of matter there is, think about a teaspoon of dirt or sugar. That's what makes the entire creation. Everything that exists, you, me, the desk, furniture, everything is contained in a teaspoon of dirt or sugar or salt, whatever it is you want to measure by. And you say, how can this be? How can all this exist? And this is all there is as far as we would consider to be matter. Because the best way to look at this as well, think about a ceiling fan. When the fan is off, you can see right through the blades, right? 5 blades. You can see right through them. But when the fan starts turning really fast, it looks like it's solid. It looks like it's one blade. Not even a blade, it just looks solid. If you try to push your hand through it, you're gonna get cut, right? Because it can't go through. Because it's spinning so fast, it looks like it's solid. It looks like a solid entity. And even though it's not solid, you can throw something at it, it'll bounce back at you because it's moving so fast. So these so-called atoms are moving so fast, they're creating the solids that you see. You are part of that. Everything that exists in this creation, the universe, the stars, whatever you can see, whatever you know, whatever scientist says exists physically, is made up with a teaspoon of sugar or a teaspoon of dirt. That's how much material there is. And it's even less than that because they have discovered inside the atom itself, the neutron, the proton, electron, they themselves are turning and they are empty. Another word is this. What does that mean? It means this creation is actually empty. Empty, just like the fan turning. When the fan stops, it's space in between, right? Well, that's what we are. We actually are empty. But how can this be? How can that God create something that is empty, but yet we're here? We eat, we drink, we get sick. All the things that goes on happens to us, but yet this is all we are made up of. This is just a little or small example or sample of what God power is. And I'll be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, this is nothing. Now, God says, I didn't change. I didn't do anything. Well, how can that be? Because Moses asked God, let me see your face. That's a famous quote or famous saying that Moses had asked God. He had a question. That was his question. That was one of the biggest questions Moses had for God. Let me see your face. And God says, you cannot see my face. What did God mean by that? You cannot see my face. What God is saying, you cannot see my face. What you can see is my back. What does that mean, my back? Meaning everything I've done in the past, you can see it now. You understand it. But to see my face, to see the future, you can't. What does that mean? If it were possible, you would not be able to see my face. Why? Because you trying to see my face, you would come out of existence. Meaning you cannot exist to see my face. Meaning that God created this bubble. You know those glass of where they have this house inside and it has water, and then when you shake it like it's snowing. Okay, think about that. We are inside that glass. You shake it, we are inside that. That's who we are. We are inside that bubble that's containing. We can only exist inside that. We cannot exist outside of it. To come out us outside of that, we will cease to exist. The same way the person who's sleeping on that sofa, who's dreaming, and if he wakes up, they vanish. That's us. So God did not change. He didn't do anything. I know it's a hard thing to understand, but this is a small sample of God's power, of what he can do. As far as to go into what he is, we'll continue on that. But what God is, we can never know. No one can know, not the angels. Even after we go upstairs to meet with him, no one will ever know, because it's not possible. If you try to, you will cease to exist, because he has to give you existence, and he is existence. So this is something that's very difficult for people to wrap their head around. It took me some time too as well. It's not an easy concept to understand, to accept. But God is nothing that all these different cultures trying to make him to be. He's none of that. Okay? He's nothing like that. As you can see from what I just told you, we cannot even imagine what he is. Not even the angels. Okay? Even the angels got confused thinking that was God. And that's nothing. What Adam is, or God created Adam to be, is nothing at all compared to who God really is. So I thank you for sharing with me, and I will see you next time. God bless. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.